downtown Toronto. Here she is, Marilyn Denis.
There. I see cupcakes. That's a good sign. Today, we're revealing the secrets to success from business to your love life. So my first guest knows what it takes to make your business dreams come true, and he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's in. Please welcome the founder and CEO of Herjavec Group, Shark Tank co-host Robert Herjavec.
You have such a great audience, all women, maybe.
Aren't they? Well, see, there's some guys over there. Some guys.
Husbands.
Look behind you. There's men over there. That's good. We're expanding our base. Hey, a couple things I want to talk to you about. So I'm watching the news last night, and you were on the news. And the question was, it was probably a series that you did a couple weeks ago. It was asking all the Shark Tank people, you know, how to go in and ask for a raise. Okay, and every one of you gave advice. And one of the people said, well, listen, if the company says, you know, well, we don't have any money left, she said, somebody, somewhere got a raise within the company. But you said, do you remember what you said?
I do. I said never use the word I. It's never about you. It's always about what value can you add to the company.
Right.
And I learned that a long time ago. You know, if you ask me how do I feel, I'll always say, I feel wonderful. And so people say, do you always feel wonderful? And I say, 98% of the time, I'm a pretty happy guy. But the 2% I'm not, nobody cares. It's not my job to tell people how I feel. I think that if you have a business, it's your job to make your customers feel great. People have their own problems. People have their own issues. You driving here this morning probably had something happen to you. You've got challenges in your life. You don't want to hear about my problems.
Yeah, they're called Roger and Darren on the Chum FM morning show. Those are my challenges.
I heard you were nasty.
But you know, you're absolutely right. You just want to have this at work, in the work environment. You want to be up and happy and positive. That way you move forward. That's how I feel about that, too.
You want to be the person that makes other people smile, right? People have challenges in their lives. Are you a person that brings joy to others? Or are you that kind of person that others say, oh my gosh, it's Marilyn. I don't want to meet with her because it's going to be negative. It's always about her. She doesn't lift me up.
But, you know, even though you say that, you still say no. Even though you're a happy guy, you still say no. So that's why I want to tell everybody.
Just because I'm happy, it doesn't mean I'm going to say
that's right.
yes.
But I think some people correlate, you know, well, you know, he can be a downer. No, if you're positive thinking, you still have to say the word no.
I think it's okay to put down someone's idea.
Yes.
And I think it's okay to say no to a bad business idea.
Yes.
But I don't think it's ever okay to put the person down.
Right on.
Right.
No shaming. No shaming.
And, you know, this is the challenge we see on the show sometimes, is that the other sharks sometimes are really mean to the people. And I got to tell you, once the cameras stop rolling, we have huge arguments about that.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Because
I always remember my mom in the back of my head saying, you are no better than any other human being, and no human being is better than you. So you got to treat everybody equally well.
You're the first person I've met, the first man that I've met that had actually listened to their mother. I'm going to take that and run it for my son Adam over and over. It's the shaming part really bothers me when that happens, when it attacks on a person's personality. When it's their idea, it's one thing. When it's the person, I so agree with you on that one. Within 10 years of founding the Herjavec Group, you generated $125 million and have offices across the country. I don't think you're trying hard enough. So I'm here to boost you. When you get up in the morning and you're not feeling okay, what do you say to yourself to make you feel better?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, first of all,
you can't be up and happy all the time.
98% of the time when I wake up in the morning, I just want to go, baby. Like, I wake up and I think, let's go. Life is so great. I just want to go. On the 2 days of the year I don't feel great, you know, this is going to sound very corny. No. I think to myself, I don't deserve to feel bad. I think of the sacrifice that my family went through to get me here. I think of the privileged life I lead, and it takes me about 5 minutes to stop feeling sorry for myself.
That'll do it right there.
Right there?
Right there. One other thing before we meet our first person that would like to get some advice from you.
I'm so excited.
You train for marathons now?
I did.
What's going on there?
Well, you know,
When did
you
that
don't
start?
get a body like this by eating cupcakes.
Exactly. Which we're going to see in a couple of minutes.
Which we're going to see in a moment.
But like, when did that start? I think healthy body, healthy mind, for sure.
Wow, I do too. I always think if you're hard on yourself, life will be easy on you.
Right.
And so I really try to push myself, and trust me, there's nothing harder than the marathon when you're built like I am. It was really hard.
Well, how old were you when you started training for a marathon?
2 years ago. So the first one I trained for 6 weeks, and I ran it in 4.5 hours.
Good Lord.
And as soon as I finished, I said, I can go better, I can do faster.
Right.
And then I trained for 6 months, I was in great shape, and I finished in 4.5 hours.
But I say, I salute you for that. Because, you know, I'm here with Shark Tank co-star and business mogul Robert Herjavec, and we're just talking about life in L.A. How's life in L.A.?
Well, it's minus 32 outside today, so life in LA is great.
Yeah, and you're there, and I'm sure it is. And is that where you tape the show and everything?
Yeah, we tape there, and I try to get there at least 1 week a month. It's wonderful there.
Wow.
It's warm.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
All right, enough about that. We're helping entrepreneurs with their startups today, and Laurie is from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Yeah, nice to see you there.
It's colder there than it is here.
I think it might be.
I don't think so,
because I'll tell you, Calgary went through a warm spell there. I don't know. It was warmer in Calgary than it was. I don't know about Medicine Hat. Anyway, you've got the Toasty Tush. Is the name of your startup.
I've invented the Toasty Tush. We're patent pending, and what it is it's an insulation for your camp chair, your backyard chairs. It slips over the back of your chair, and it contains an aluminum insulation inside.
So I have to have an existing chair.
You have to have an existing chair, you bet. So it goes on whatever chairs you currently have, so you don't have to buy anything special. And it uses your own body heat to keep you warm. So you don't have to put it in the microwave or plug it in or anything like that. You just take it with you. So you're going to that football game, that baseball game, and you just throw it on and sit on it, and it helps keep you warm.
Now, there's a couple of examples of it over there because of different variations. Not every chair is the same as we know.
Well, that was my other question. Do I need a different one for different style chairs?
I've really gone through quite a few different designs trying to optimize not making it too big, that it's floppy on chips, but that it fits most styles.
So there's one SKU.
There's one. Actually, there's two. We do one for bleacher seats as well, a small one for those hockey moms that have to sit
I
on
could have
those
used that 20 years ago,
And how much is it?
It retails for $32.99 right now.
Is that good?
I believe it's a little high, but with manufacturing it in Canada right now, we're struggling with that.
What's your cost on it?
$14.76.
So do you sell it wholesale today, or do you sell it retail?
That's my cost, and then right now I'm selling through a distributor.
So you're selling it for $32 to a distributor?
No, I'm selling it for $16 to a distributor. Yeah.
You're going to go, oh, that's awful.
I know.
Yeah.
So what I
can't make any money doing that.
I can't. So what I need to do is I need to find alternate manufacturing, perhaps overseas, and that's turned out to be quite a struggle. Trying to make the connections.
I can help you with that. So one of my best friends has been manufacturing offshore for 20 years. He's one of the largest suppliers to Costco. So rule number one is you have to make money.
Yes. People
always think if I can seed the market, and sometimes that works in Silicon Valley where they give away free software, but when you're making a good that you're only making $2 on this, just for people at home, when you make a product like that, you have to make on average 100% margin. So if she's making it for 14, she should be, as a rule of thumb, selling it to distribution for 28.
Yeah.
20 would be okay, but 20 to 28. Because then the distributor is also going to make 100% margin, and they're going to sell it for 50 to 60. So her price point of 32, the distributor should be buying it for 16. She should be making it for 8.
I see.
That's a general rule of thumb for any manufacturing. I mean, there's always exceptions, but you got to hit that. So I can help you with that. I mean,
because I definitely think it's doable. If we go overseas, I think that price point can work.
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
As a dad with 2 daughters who swam, and there's a lot of hockey people, so I think it's a great idea. How many have you sold?
We've sold, I don't know the number exactly how many I've sold, but we've made about 51,000 in the last 2 years. So
Should always know what you've sold.
I know. I knew you were going to ask
to be a finance major. You don't have to be good at English, but
Know your
the
numbers.
numbers in your company are like the lifeblood of your business. If you don't know them, if I can't wake you up at 2 in the morning, poke you, and ask you how many have you sold, and you don't know the answer to that, that's bad. Because today, when you're small, if you don't know it, what are you going to do when you get big?
Exactly.
And you know, people always say, oh, it's okay, I'll hire somebody. I had the pleasure of having lunch with Oprah, and I asked her all kinds of questions about business and money. And she said something to me which really stuck with me. Every check in her company above $10,000, she personally signs.
And you know who told her to do that? Bill Cosby. He said, you
Really?
should sign every check. You should know where all your money is going. That's the advice she got from
And
me.
I said to her, why do you do that? And she said, because no matter how big I get, I want to know where the money's going.
Yeah.
Right? So,
advice.
great idea. 51,000 sales over what period of time?
Just over 2 years.
Okay, so typically people in business don't talk sales over multiple years. So Marilyn told you about my company. We did 125 million.
Yeah.
We did that in 1 year. We did that last year. Over 10 years, we've probably done 800 million. But in business, never say that. Never say, my sales are 51,000 over 2 years. Because a business guy like me will always think you're trying to hide something.
Oh.
Right? Because I want to know what your sales are in the last 12 months. Not from the day you started. We see this on Shark Tank all the time. People come out and say, my sales are $1 million. And we all like get really excited. Wow. And then they say, over 13 years. and the energy in the room just goes, and it's hard to come back from a negative.
Yeah.
Right.
Our last year has been our biggest. It was 46,000.
So what
last
should you?
year.
So what should she say if she just met you for the first time to answer that question?
She said, I have an incredible product. I've been in business for 2 years. First year we started development. We got some in the market. And in the second year, we went to $46,000 in sales.
Yeah.
We have some challenges with our price point, but people are buying it. How are you selling it today?
Online as well as through distributor. And I go to trade shows, farmers markets, things like that, just trying to get the name
Why
out there.
haven't you gone to a Canadian Tire?
We have tried. We've applied to get into quite a few of them. We have 3 other big retailers that are interested in it, but manufacturing is my biggest
Your
issue.
problem is going to be cost. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Until I
I'm
get-
answering my own question. Your problem is cost.
It is.
Canadian Tire is going to look at you and say, we're not making enough money.
That's right.
You got to fix that.
I'm going to be paying them to
You
buy
are,
my product.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
You got to fix that. If you can't fix that, you don't have a business. I just
Exactly.
realized that. Enough. See how brilliant I am? I fixed all her problems.
I should have told you that.
Let's work on some other problems. Are you married? Are you single?
Hey, wait a minute. That's my gift. Okay. But you know, is
No, but it's true. If you don't fix that, the other problems don't matter.
Yeah.
What does your husband think?
Great business has got great interest, and she worked very hard for it.
Yes.
I think it's at that cusp. It's there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
interest.
Okay.
You got to fix the cost, though.
We have to.
You know, everybody works hard at their business.
Right.
Mark Cuban and I argue about this all the time. The words he hates having people tell him is, I work hard and I'm really motivated. And he always says, you know, if you don't work hard and you're not motivated, why are you here?
Yeah.
That's just par for the course. But you got to fix that. I'll get your contact information and I'll get you somebody who can tell you whether it can be done.
Again, come on. That's because you put yourself out there. Robert, will you promise me that you'll come back and we're just going to chat about how to talk the talk and walk the walk? Because you might have a great product, but you just don't know how to communicate it. And I love that. You know, I love the advice that you've already given us.
You know, it's so true. It's your responsibility to get people in life to listen to you.
Yeah.
It is not the responsibility of others to listen. You know, my kids come home and say, oh, Daddy, the teacher didn't listen to me. Or I had a presentation and it didn't go well because the kids were being fidgety. And I'm saying, that's not their problem.
Yeah.
When you go out into life, you're going to meet people who have their own problems. You got to make them listen.
Right. Well, we listen to you, that's for sure. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Love having you. Our pleasure. Shark Tank airs Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern on CTV2. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you both.